Most people spend their entire lives chasing money. They work harder, take extra shifts, pursue promotions, and tell themselves that one day when they finally earn enough, everything will change. But for millions of people, that day never comes. Because no matter how much they earn, they somehow never seem to get ahead. Meanwhile, there are people who start with almost nothing and eventually build extraordinary wealth. So, what's the difference? Is it luck, connections, talent, or is there a hidden truth about money that most people were never taught? Because once you understand how wealth is actually created, you'll realize that building wealth has far less to do with income than you've been led to believe. And by the end of this video, you may discover that the financial game you've been playing your entire life is completely different from the one that actually creates wealth. From childhood, most of us are taught the same financial formula. Study hard, get good grades, find a stable job, work hard, save money, and eventually you'll become financially successful. It sounds logical. In fact, it sounds so logical that most people never question it. But there is a problem. Millions of people have followed this advice perfectly. They studied, they worked, they sacrificed, they saved. Yet many still find themselves living paycheck to paycheck, even after years of hard work. Think about it. If hard work alone creates wealth, why are some of the hardest working people in society struggling financially? Why are there people working 60 hours a week who still worry about money every month? Why do so many people receive raises, promotions, and higher salaries, yet remain trapped in financial stress? The answer is uncomfortable. Because the biggest money lie is believing that earning money and building wealth are the same thing. They're not. Earning money is important, but earning money alone does not create wealth. In fact, many people spend their entire lives increasing their income without ever increasing their financial freedom. Because income and wealth are two completely different things. Income is what you make. Wealth is what you keep. Income is active. Wealth is accumulated. Income pays today's bills. Wealth buys tomorrow's freedom. And once you understand that distinction, everything starts to look different. The question stops being, how much money do I make? And becomes, how much wealth am I actually building? Because one of those questions determines your lifestyle. The other determines your future. And that leads us to a truth that most schools never teach. Most people believe money is earned. The wealthy understand money is controlled. At first, that sounds strange. After all, everyone earns money. But earning money is only the first step. What happens next is what changes lives. Imagine two people. Both earn the exact same income. The first person spends nearly everything they make. A larger apartment, a nicer car, more subscriptions, more upgrades, more lifestyle. The second person lives slightly below their means. Nothing extreme, nothing dramatic, but every month they direct part of their income into assets, investments, businesses, ownership. 10 years later, their lives look completely different. Not because they earned different amounts, but because they played different games. The first person worked for money. The second person gradually made money work for them. This is the money game most people never learn. Because wealth is not built primarily through labor. It is built through ownership. Ownership of businesses, ownership of investments, ownership of assets that continue producing value long after the work is finished. The wealthy understand something that many people never realize. Every dollar has a job. It can either be consumed or it can be recruited. Consumed money disappears. Recruited money goes to work. And when enough money is working for you, something remarkable happens. You become less dependent on trading your time for income. You begin creating leverage. And leverage is where wealth starts to accelerate. But if the formula is so simple, why do so many people remain stuck? The answer has nothing to do with money and everything to do with psychology. Because the greatest obstacle to wealth is not a lack of opportunity. It's often human nature itself. If building wealth is about ownership rather than income, why do so many people remain financially trapped? The answer lies in a conflict that exists inside every human being. A conflict between what feels good now and what benefits us later. Human beings are naturally wired to seek comfort. We seek pleasure, convenience, security, immediate rewards. These instincts helped our ancestors survive. But in the modern financial world, those same instincts can quietly work against us. Imagine receiving a significant raise at work. Most people immediately begin thinking about what they can upgrade. A better apartment, a newer car, more expensive vacations, a larger television, a better lifestyle. None of these purchases are necessarily bad. The problem is what happens when every increase in income is immediately matched by an increase in spending. This phenomenon has a name: lifestyle inflation, and it silently destroys more wealth than most people realize, because every time income rises, expectations rise with it. The things that once felt luxurious become normal. The things that once felt exciting become expected, and before long the person earning twice as much discovers they are no closer to financial freedom than they were before. Their income grew, but so did their obligations. Their salary increased, but so did their dependence on that salary. This is where the brain plays a dangerous trick. It confuses a higher income with greater wealth, but they are not the same thing. A person can earn $1 million a year and still be financially fragile if their expenses consume everything they earn. At the same time, someone earning far less may be steadily building wealth through disciplined ownership and investment. Because wealth is not measured by what comes in, it is measured by what stays. And this misunderstanding keeps millions of people trapped in a cycle they barely recognize. Working harder, earning more, spending more, and wondering why financial freedom always seems just out of reach. But lifestyle inflation is only part of the problem. There is another invisible force quietly draining wealth from people every single day, and most don't even realize it's happening. Meet Sarah. At 25, she earns a modest income. She dreams of financial freedom. She promises herself that once she starts making more money, she'll finally be secure. A few years later, she receives a promotion. Her income increases. She celebrates by upgrading her apartment, a larger space, a better neighborhood, a slightly higher standard of living. Then, another promotion arrives. More income, more upgrades, a newer car, more dining out, more subscriptions, more monthly payments. The pattern continues, year after year, promotion after promotion, lifestyle upgrade after lifestyle upgrade. From the outside, Sarah looks successful. Friends admire her progress. Social media reflects a life that appears impressive. But beneath the surface, something strange is happening. Despite earning more than ever before, she still feels financially constrained. She still worries about money. She still depends entirely on her next paycheck, and if her income suddenly stopped, her lifestyle would become difficult to maintain. This is the invisible enemy of wealth: the tendency to allow spending to expand at the same pace as income. The result is a paradox. People become richer on paper, but not necessarily richer in reality, because wealth is not determined by how much money flows through your life. It is determined by how much of that money remains under your control. The more money that gets redirected toward consumption, the less remains available for ownership. And ownership is where wealth is born. This is why some people spend decades earning increasingly larger incomes while never building meaningful financial security. The problem isn't a lack of money. The problem is a lack of margin. Margin is the gap between what you earn and what you spend. And without margin, wealth has nowhere to grow, which leads to one of the most surprising truths about money. The people who appear wealthy are often not the people who actually are. Most people think wealth should be obvious. They expect it to look a certain way. Luxury cars, designer clothing, massive homes, exclusive vacations. But here's the twist. The appearance of wealth is often easiest to see. Actual wealth is often invisible. Research into self-made millionaires has revealed a surprising pattern. Many of them drive ordinary vehicles. Many live below their means. Many avoid the flashy displays commonly associated with success. At first, this seems contradictory. Why would wealthy people choose not to look wealthy? Because they understand something most people don't. Assets create wealth. Appearances consume wealth. Every dollar spent maintaining an image is a dollar that cannot be invested. Every effort devoted to impressing strangers is energy not devoted to building ownership. And over time, that difference compounds. The person chasing appearances collects status symbols. The person focused on ownership collects assets. One accumulates things that depreciate. The other accumulates things that appreciate. One builds a lifestyle that demands continuous income. The other builds a system capable of generating income. This is why two people with identical salaries can end up living completely different financial lives. Not because of what they earn, but because of what they do with what they earn. And hidden inside this realization is perhaps the most important mindset shift in wealth building. A poor mindset asks, how can I look wealthy? A wealth-building mindset asks, how can I become wealthy? At first glance, the difference appears small, but over decades it changes everything. Because one question leads toward consumption, the other leads toward freedom. At this point, the question becomes obvious. If wealth isn't built through appearances, then how is it actually built? The answer is surprisingly simple, but simple does not mean easy. Most people imagine wealth as a complicated formula reserved for financial experts. In reality, nearly every self-made fortune follows the same basic path. Income, margin, investment, compounding, freedom. That's it. Everything starts with income, whether from a job, a business, or a skill. Income is the fuel, but income alone is not enough. The next step is margin. Margin is the money left over after your expenses. And this is where most wealth-building journeys either begin or end, because without margin there is nothing available to invest. No capital, no ownership, no growth. The people who build wealth protect their margin fiercely, not because they are cheap, but because they understand its power. Every dollar of margin represents future opportunity, the ability to buy assets, the ability to create ownership, the ability to generate future income. Once margin exists, the next step is investment. This is where money stops sitting still. Instead of being consumed, it begins working. It begins producing. It begins multiplying. And then comes the force that changes everything. Compounding. Compounding is one of the most powerful forces in wealth creation because it rewards patience. At first, growth appears slow, almost invisible. The results seem insignificant. Many people quit during this stage. They become impatient. They return to spending because spending produces immediate gratification. But those who remain consistent eventually reach a turning point. A moment where growth begins creating more growth, where the assets they've accumulated start working harder than they do. And over time, something remarkable happens. Their dependence on active income begins to decrease, not because they stopped working, but because they built systems that continued producing value, even when they weren't actively involved. And that is the real goal of wealth. Not luxury, not status, not admiration, freedom. The freedom to make decisions without constant financial pressure. The freedom to choose how you spend your time. The freedom to build a life around purpose instead of survival. But reaching that freedom requires one skill that separates builders from consumers: the ability to delay gratification. Every financial decision is a vote for the person you are becoming. Most people never think about money this way. They see purchases as isolated events: a car, a vacation, a gadget, a luxury item. But wealthy people often see something different. They see trade-offs. They see future consequences. They see opportunity costs. This is why their thinking is fundamentally different. Before making major financial decisions, they tend to ask questions that most people never ask. Question 1: does this increase my freedom? Because freedom is the ultimate currency. Not money, not possessions, freedom. Question 2: does this create an asset? Will this decision generate future value or simply consume current value? Question 3: will this matter in 10 years? This question alone can eliminate countless bad decisions, because many purchases feel important today, but become irrelevant tomorrow. And here is the psychological shift that changes everything. Most people ask, what can I afford? Wealth builders ask, what is this truly costing me? Not just today, but in lost opportunities, lost investments, lost growth, lost freedom. The wealthy understand that every dollar spent has two prices: the visible price and the invisible price. The visible price is what leaves your account. The invisible price is what that money could have become. And once you begin seeing both prices, your relationship with money changes forever, because wealth is not created by one extraordinary decision. It is created by hundreds of ordinary decisions made correctly over time. Now let's address the question that brought you here. How do you build wealth from nothing? The answer may not be glamorous, but it is realistic. And more importantly, it works. Step 1. Increase your value. Develop skills that solve problems. The marketplace rewards people who create value for others. The greater your value, the greater your earning potential. Step 2. Increase your income, not to impress others, not to inflate your lifestyle, but to create a larger margin for investment. Step 3. Live below your means. This is where wealth gains traction, because every dollar not consumed becomes available for ownership. Step 4. Buy assets consistently, not occasionally, not when you feel motivated, consistently. The power of wealth does not come from intensity, it comes from repetition. Step 5. Allow time to do its work. This is the step most people underestimate. They want immediate results, immediate wealth, immediate transformation. But wealth rarely arrives dramatically. It grows quietly, patiently, in the background, long before anyone notices. The people who eventually achieve financial freedom are often the people who are willing to stay committed when progress seemed invisible. Because wealth is not an event, it is a process built one decision at a time. Most people spend their lives chasing money. The wealthy spend their lives building systems. Most people focus on income. The wealthy focus on ownership. Most people buy liabilities. The wealthy acquire assets. And that brings us to the hidden truth about money that no one taught you. Money itself is not wealth. Money is simply a tool that can either be spent today or deployed to create more tomorrow. The difference between financial struggle and financial freedom often comes down to how that tool is used. Because wealth is not determined by how much money passes through your hands. It is determined by how much value remains working for you. The poor work for money. The middle class spend money. The wealthy make money work for them. And once you understand that distinction, wealth stops feeling mysterious. It stops feeling reserved for the lucky. It becomes a predictable result of behavior, a result of ownership, patience, discipline, and long-term thinking. The question is no longer whether wealth is possible. The question is whether you're willing to build it. If you enjoyed this deep dive into wealth psychology, business strategy, and financial freedom, subscribe to The Wealth Lab. Because here, we don't just talk about money. We decode the hidden behaviors, beliefs, and decisions that separate financial struggle from financial freedom. Watch next. Why making money is more psychological than financial.